¿Cómo están? Buenas noches. How we doing? Hope you're having a good night. Man, when I tell you about El Aragán y compañía, I'm very fortunate to say that when it comes to mixed martial arts, the UFC, I feel like I might have been like one of the last people, maybe last generation, to experience it watching it a bootleg. And again, I when I saw Matt Hughes slam Carlos Newton had him in a triangle. Matt Hughes put him up against a cage and just slammed them, and they were both knocked out. When I saw that, I was like, this is like anime brought to life. And I was hooked from then on. And it was like this, old veterano looking ass fool that walked into the dojo, the studio. Uh, One day he would bring his daughter with a UFC shirt, and I remember asking him like, "What's that about? I've seen that around. What is that?" And he's like, "Oh, I got you. Next time, I'll bring you some videos, this and that." And that was cool. And he handed me like three or two bootlegs, and I was like, "Dope." And man, that was amazing. So I had a similar experience with El Aragán and rock en español of this era and this genre specifically. Because again, like I kind of, I'm an anchor baby, grew up with, in a very young household, to say, let's put it that way. So the music that I grew up with wasn't like Chente or anything like that. It wasn't Chalino. It was more like Ricardo Arjona, Shakira, more current pop stuff of that era. That's what I grew up with. And I had somebody who I had seen throughout my life, um, but they spent most of their time in Mexico. And to this day, not a very close relationship, but somebody who I admire. I admire and I respect. A lot of disagreements, but I respect them. And one day they just give me this bootleg of like over 300 songs, the rock en español, but like real rock en español, not Manan, not Juanes, like the real stuff. And I fell in love with this fool's voice, and man, so grateful for that moment. And you can even see his haircut. Anyways, um, so yeah, really really special place in my heart. This band. Uh, so no, of course. So white millionaire man is not gonna give my broke brown ass the time of day. In fact, last week I found something out that I was unaware of, that made me laugh, and it makes you realize that this is a real small environment, and there's a reason why. There's a reason why these white people have kept this space so white. It's because it really is small. They don't want you to realize how small this space is. Because if you start speaking up, and I encourage you to, if you start speaking up, you're going to be heard. You're never going to gain the same popularity that they have because you're not white. So you're going to make people uncomfortable to begin with, especially if you're principled. And most of us are not affluent the way that they were. You got to understand, Sam Cedar's father was a lawyer. Hasan Piker's father was, COO or CEO of a company, involved in politics, all these things. These people are not like you and me. They're not working class. Most of them are white. Some are spicy white, but what the fuck does that matter? So I encourage everyone to speak up in the ways that they can. Shout out to CJ. He's an anarchist. Took shots at Stalin already, so apparently I have to be offended by that. I don't fucking care, bro. All critique, as long as it's principled, is fucking encouraged and motivated by me. So again, shout out to CJ. Check out their channel. Young individual that is just, man, like it just makes me so happy to know that there's like real bad motherfuckers out there that do not bend, do not falter. I mean, for him to square up in a debate with, I don't even know this other fool's name, to be honest. Oh, consciously. Admirable. But again, all respect to FD Signifier, gave me the time and day, and I was, I'll be honest with you, I'm petty and I'm a shit talker. I was hounding that fool for a cool minute because I saw something I didn't like. And I told this to FD, like, hey, I no longer follow your content. I appreciate what you do. It's not for me. Cool. But then when I saw that cozying up to PF Jung, I was like, nah. Nope. Right. I'm going to say something. I'm going to speak up. And like, to be honest with y'all, like, I do avoid overstepping and getting into, black business. I try my best to avoid it. But some things are too far. And if I'm the only one speaking up, I got it. So again, credit to Consciously, CJ the Radical. I believe that's their name on all social media. Let's pull it up his channel here. He's got Fanon over here, so go check out their channel. Let me drop it in the chat actually. This is why I laugh when people are like, or not a lot of people, but people have. I mentioned that like I'm anti-anarchist. I'm like, no, like what? Dude, I got nothing but love and respect for CJ, nothing but love and respect for Pancho, and they're both anarchists. I've talked to both of them privately. You know what I mean? Like it's, I do not do this whole like, I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe because I'm more practical or more of a realist, more jaded to where we are today. Maybe because I appreciate people that actually try to do the work. I don't know what it is, but I'm just like, bro, you're showing up. Like, you're my homie. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I admire what you do. I should be doing more always. So I don't got time for all this anarchist bashing shit. I don't. And when anarchists are bashing MLs, does he have the Stalin one over here? I don't take that shit personal either. Like, so thank you for being critical. Like, yes, always. Anywho, I'm rambling. But what I wanted to say was, regardless of my disagreements with Consciously, which are greater than with FDs, but FD isn't cozying up to Joe Biden, but hey, CJ took care of that anyways. Notice that they were both willing to have a conversation, to debate, what have you, with people that disagreed with them. Right? So FD was down to speak to me, didn't have to. Consciously was down to talk to CJ, didn't have to. Both have, well, all respect to CJ because I don't know what their TikTok numbers are like. I don't use TikTok like that. But from my understanding, both FD has fucking X variable so many more subscribers and followers than I do. And I think the same can be safely said about Consciously and CJ, right? They were both willing to speak to us, right? One was a little bit more contested. One was a little bit more heated, sure. I don't like that Consciously kind of unlisted the video, the debate, but I don't know what he does with his channel, so I don't know if that's just protocol. But the good news is that CJ has it. I kept it, recorded it for his channel, so it's all good. It's out there. We enjoyed it. it was it was a fun to watch, and just I already know that CJ is going to accomplish amazing things, and if his debate skills are already that solid, I'm terrified for anybody who's got to argue with him. um, and it's always cool, hearing how. Anyway, pulgoso. I got the dog right here with me. And so of course, Hasan Piker and these white people aren't going to debate me, bro. Come on, come on, come on. They're not going to debate me. Sam Cedar couldn't debate me one on one. He had to like have his whole crew with him, which I respect. I like that little Shark Tank action going. It was more of jumping in, but it's all good. Emma Viglin, Matt Leck, fuck all of them. Fuck your whole crew, homie. And whoever the war criminal is that you have now back there, I don't know his name. I never remember his name. I'm rambling. It's late. It's about to be 9. How do y'all feel about the late streams? So it turns out I was sick. And of course, it hit me the hardest when I thought I was recovering, which was fine. Not a big deal. I was late stream. Didn't go train tonight. I don't like going to train when I'm like all gross. And I don't know. Like, I don't want my training partners to up all gross. So I try to do the same. Tomorrow we'll be back at it. Maybe some changes there. I don't know. I'm old, and I don't know if I just need a different outlet or a different environment. But I need to make a decision soon because that's money, man. That's money. I don't know. I need to have a conversation with certain people. I'll stop by this local marqueta, and man, getting like a good solid, not too sweet, agua fresca. This is pepino con limon. Can't beat it. I still water it down. Because I'm telling you, I don't have a sweet tooth unless it's chocolate. Foxy, more evening streams. Yeah, only because this morning I was still pretty congested. I don't know if you can hear it now, but it's still there. I'll take some NyQuil tonight, hopefully knock out and be back to 100% tomorrow. But tomorrow we'll do a morning stream. I really, really needed to work on that Cesar Chavez video, but when I'm telling y'all that I was like napkin after napkin, it was annoying. It wasn't bad. Thankfully. It wasn't bad. Like I wasn't like bed rest ridden or whatever, but it was just really, really obnoxiously always having to blow my nose. So I could not work on that video despite wanting to. But yeah, it wasn't bad. I appreciate it, but believe me, it was not bad. It was annoying, but it was not bad whatsoever. That's what I'm telling you. Like, I wasn't sure whether or not I was sick or not, or how I was feeling. I was sleeping a lot more, but I just assumed that it was due to my bad sleeping patterns. Keith says, I never wake up before noon anymore, so late streams are great for me. I got a night owl. Man, that's my natural, sleeping pattern. I love going to bed like at 2 a.m., waking up like at noon. It's solid for me. But I can't do that because I apparently pretend to be a responsible adult sometimes. But all right, where we at? I just don't understand how people take these individuals serious. I really can't understand it. I generally think that, and this is the reason why I don't think I'm ever really going to be trying to poach or try to get audience, from the Majority Report or Hasan Piker, Mike from PA, anyone, any of those people, any Radlib. Because I generally think that their audience are the worst type of unintelligent individual, which is the ones that think they're smart, the ones that think they're informed. That's the worst type of fucking person that you could interact with, right? Because their smugness is one, unbearable, and most of them are white. Most of them are white. So it's just really the worst from every angle. The worst from every angle. And thing after thing that these individuals do, thing after thing that they say is excused and dismissed in a manner that's only possible if one, you're in a cult, which a lot of them are. That's the reason why Hasan Piker, Bad Empanada, degrade, insult, disrespect, mock, belittle, insult their audience members is to condition you to being mistreated, disrespected, and still show up, still give them money, still support them, still share, clip, and suggest their content, and still excuse their behavior. It's done for a reason. And I agree. Tomas says that audience is mostly rich, lib college kids. Yeah, and I would add white to that. They see themselves in Hasan Piker. They see themselves in Mike from PA. They see themselves in Sam Cedar. And if not themselves, their uncles, their fathers, their grandfathers, what have you. So they excuse and normalize so much of their bullshit. And it gets to a certain point where it's like, bro, like, and look, last time we had what's the Majority Report's mod? What's Autumn Leaves. We had Autumn Leaves. I'm not trying to like, I'm bad with names. I'm not trying to like, do like a big time anyone. I'm just bad with names. Autumn Leaves was out here defending Hasan Piker, this and that, in the Majority Report. And I said, look, Sam Cedar, Hasan Piker are both normalizing Zionists, liberal Zionism. They're both spewing their propaganda for the liberal Zionist angle and approach, and we'll see shortly what I mean by that. I think that their mods should be treated like part of a newspaper's editorial team. And so you have a newspaper outlet that is co-signing, Nazism, but through a liberal lens, through a liberal approach, while the Nazis are carrying out a genocide, they should be held accountable for aiding and abetting that genocide. And in turn, the Majority Report, Hasan Piker, in their way of normalizing liberal Zionism, should be held responsible, as well as their mods, as well as their editors, should be held responsible for their contribution and normalization of a white supremacist genocidal system, the Zionist system. That's why you don't hear them talk about decolonization. And I just want to say, shout out to the Remix Morning crew. Man, especially when you're not feeling great and like physically, I was so late for work that day. Bro, I was so late just because, I'm taking NyQuil, like I'm knocking out and my body's just out. I was so late, the latest I've been for work in quite some time. And getting a shout out from the Remix Morning crew meant a lot to me. It really lifted my spirits, made me feel a whole lot better than the fucking Dayquil I was chugging on the way to work. So shout out to them. It really sincerely means a lot that people in a platform that I been motivated and used for entertainment because they're funny as hell, but as well as education, for them to like even acknowledge my existence means the world to me. I'm not like the Vanguard looking for approval from Kyle K.E.K. Kalinske, from Sam, the anti-Zionist Cedar. That's not me. But I do look for, and I wouldn't even say approval, just fucking recognition, I guess, from people and platforms that I admire. And I gotta find a way to, I really gotta work on having guests on, because literally everyone from Black Liberation Media I want to have a conversation with. The ear doctor, bro. The ear doctor is the unsung hero of the Remix Morning Crew. He is not just so entertaining with his music, and his knowledge of the history of music is so beneficial. I was listening to their him and Burn It Down Kim Brown, their conversation on, and of course I would blank on her name. Oh man, I have her face in my head, but like I said, I'm horrible with names. They just had was it Thursday when they had their show, and I was able to catch it live too, so I was really really happy with that. Was it Thursday? Or what day did they do that show with help me out chat, come on. Um hold on. I should have it up here. Anywho. Dude, I love saying the whole thing. Brendan Down Kim Brown. It's just so perfect. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Fluffy. I always forget how what is going on. They're fucking funny, bro. Yes. Oh man. This an hour of just, you know, great education. Classical breakdowns are fun to listen to. There really is no platform like Black Liberation Media. There really isn't. There really isn't. This reminds me right here. There's this hilarious video. There's this hilarious video about like spiritualism and the demon and Illuminati and all these forces that I sent to Dr. Ball. I feel so bad because I'm like, bro, like this is such a learned academic that who I could be asking so many like profound questions or be like sharing like intellectual shit with, and I'm just like sending him the dumbest fucking like conspiracy spiritual bullshit. But that, you know, that's his fault for one, not blocking me, and two, for telling me or telling us that he likes listening to atheist debates. Because once you tell me that, then literally I'm like, okay, so you're into like trash content. I got you. Don't worry. Oh, what was I saying? Oh yeah. You know, just shout out to them. Was it this one right here? It's not a day ago. It was like two. Well, no, yesterday it didn't work. That was a solid one too. Let me see. Let me be a little egotistical because this was real nice of them. This is real nice of them. I love that it's super late, and I'm like, I'm still taking like an hour. We're at 30 minutes of rambling. Was it not this? Yeah, it was this one. Oh, Bernadette Kim Brown. First of all, and this might be weird to say, amazing voice. I think we're so well. I'm used to, and I really appreciate raspy kind of radio voices. And of course, Renee. Me and Renee just had a good laugh recently. I can't say what about, but bro, some people are. I need another word. Goofy? Can I say goofy? Because y'all know what word I was gonna say. You know what word my brown ass loves or grew up with to say. To this one, yeah. Some people are so goofy, man. So goofy. Oh, Josh did as well. Hero, let me know when that was. That means a lot, man. I truly, sincerely appreciate that. Evan has shouted me out before, so we definitely got to do something at some point. Dwayne Monroe, yeah, that one was like, bro, like what? Dwayne is listening to what I'm like, or maybe he just caught my appearance with Dr. Ball. I don't know, but like Dwayne is like such a cool fucking nerd, and I say that with like all respect and admiration. I would ask the dumbest questions to Dwayne. I would ask the absolutely dumbest questions to Dwayne. I'd be like, I'd just be like, I don't know, like Dwayne, my phone's not working. And he's like, just have you tried turning it off and on? Like the IT joke. Have you tried turning it off and on? No, but Dwayne's so fucking man. Dwayne, so fucking cool. Like you gotta understand when I say somebody's a nerd or geek, like I mean that in an absolute compliment. Um, it just means that you have knowledge of something that like I want to learn about, and your knowledge about it and your passion about it is contagious to me and inspirational to me and motivational to me. Like I'm a fucking fan of these people, bro. You gotta understand that. Um, on the Discord, we were talking about how look, these individuals, the Hasan Pikers, the Sam Cedars, the Emma Viglins, the Kyle K. Kalinskis, the Vanguard, they compare themselves to reactionaries. They compare themselves to reactionaries, right? And so they pat themselves in the back because they're like, at least we're not over here being racist, sexist, misogynist, in the most rabid, foaming at the mouth, obscene ways imaginable. We're slick with our shit. These are northern fucking racists that want credit for them being discreet about their sexism, racism, right? That's what they're comparing themselves to the worst fucking people imaginable. And they think they're the fucking good guys, right? I compare myself, and we should all be comparing each other to the best of us, right? The organizers are doing it daily. Shout out to them and so much love and appreciation to them. Man, they're tired. Man, I know them. I've seen them. They're tired. And they're the first people to greet you with a fucking smile. Shout out to them. Shout out to our ancestors, your ancestors and mine, who are actually doing the thing. Though they should be our fucking standard, right? And that doesn't mean that we should glorify them or worship them or not be critical of them. I'm saying the best aspects of them, the best characteristics of them in their best moment should be what we should try to aim for, to surpass. All right? When we talk about somebody like Angela Davis, we can have a whole lot of critiques. But again, the best of her is what we should be seen to mimic and surpass, right? When we look at somebody like, it's a little harder I'm not gonna lie, it's a little harder for us to pick. Sorry, he looks so much cuter without his collar on. You guys haven't seen him in a second. There's a lot of wires here. He wants to step outside. And if I let him get up here, he's gonna want. I have some brownies here, so I can't do that. Give me one sec. All right, he wants out. In 1 sec, Shaggy. You all want to see him, man? Come here. Careful with the wires. Come on. Hey. Oh, he wants out. Up, right here. No, he wants out. He's like, I ain't fucking with you, bro. I need to go outside. Or do I lift you? Have it, teach Come on. Dude, he's so funny. Is the dog bilingual? Yes. Yeah, absolutely, he's bilingual. Because, like I said, I took him from a family member, and all he heard was Spanish. And he's a little weirdo. Huskies are weirdos to begin with, but early on, he grew up with a bunch of cats, so he's extra weird. Um, I don't know what he starts like smelling over here. I'm like, dude, there's nothing here, but okay. But yeah, he's adorable. Finally found a new groomer for him, so super happy about that. I'm rambling, I'm yapping. Let me be a little narcissistic and hear a little bit, shout out to the Remix Morning crew. Oh, I was saying, I really do want to have a conversation with the ear doctor. You have to understand, when I listen to the ear doctor, I'm hearing all my fucking coworkers at once. And sometimes, we surround ourselves with people who are, same interests, same pursuits, same politics, similar ideology that we have, and we kind of forget how to talk to people outside of that circle. And that's not good. That's not great. I don't have that privilege. I'm working like 12 hours sometimes, actually a lot now. And so I'm around these fucking my beautiful union, mainly brothers, if we're being honest. It's like fucking 98% men that are absolute fucking barbarians that I love being around with. I don't know if I'll ever be able to work in like a white collar place because of them. Just straight fucking hooligans, and I love it, and I'm so grateful for them. But very, very fucking, backward opinions, reactionary sentiment that are neutral. These aren't thought out positions. These are just mainly through osmosis, mainly cultural osmosis. So está difícil. So when I hear the ear doctor, even whether, sometimes we don't know whether he's just proactively playing devil's advocate or not, but whether he is or isn't, it doesn't really matter. I think that he serves a really important role, especially in such a radical space like Black liberation media, where it's very easy for it to become an echo chamber. And so to have the ear doctor kind of burst that a little bit. And if I'm not mistaken, there was another gentleman, I think Dr. Ball would do a show with or randomly co-host with. And I remember this specifically because there was during the pandemic, there was a doctor that went to Cuba to go do their doctoral program. Anywho, but I found them a little bit more grating because there was a little bit of a pompous approach to his delivery that I didn't appreciate. Kind of like, oh, well, I have hidden knowledge. I don't like that shit. I don't like people that are like, oh, my third eye's open. I don't, bro, like, they can't do it. They cannot do it. The ear doctor, I don't think's ever had that energy to him. He just seems like a chill fucking dude. And don't forget, I'm from California, dude. So yeah, like sometimes I feel like he bursts that echo chamber bubble, and I appreciate it. And he has me fucking dying too. That was fucking funny, bro. Like just his voice, I find humorous. I don't know, his delivery is just so. He's somebody that I would love to speak to, No, Ella. I actually need to get water because that's still too sweet for me. And I watered it down. It had ice and everything. It was great though. It's great. It's agua fresca, just like it. Más agua que nada. All right, let's listen to this. Let me take a little flowers. That's it.
Exactly 1 week since the Cesar Chavez story.
Right? That's a symptom. That's like that is the humanity, et cetera, despite all the genocide and enslavement, right, that went into creating it, right?
You are 100.
You're not wrong about their perception. I think
that's what I just asked. And y'all saying I'm
They
wrong.
are wrong, but they are wrong.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, Kim, because y'all acting
and
like
Evan and Renee about to break it down way better than I could. But at the end of the day, we benefit from even the downtrodden, even the oppressed here, we benefit from the bullshit that America does overseas. We do.
So perfect that I went back a little further. Burn it down, Kim Brown. Unfortunately, her show is, I think, if I remember correctly, like permanent hiatus. Which is hopefully we just means we get more of her on Black Liberation Media. I hope everything's okay as well. Listen to what she just said. We'll go back a little bit.
Saying I'm wrong.
But they are wrong.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, Kim, because y'all acting
and
like
Evan and Renee about to break it down way better than I could. But at the end of the day, we benefit from even the downtrodden, even the oppressed here, we benefit from the bullshit that America does overseas. We do.
Sorry if I'm going to overstep here, play a little identity politics. A Black woman is able to recognize this. A Black woman is able to acknowledge this, verbalize it, communicate it to you, and say, hey, shit might be fucked up, but we benefit.
I voted for Kamala.
We sure do. We benefit from it. So tell me how a white multimillionaire man can come out here and claim that somehow Western imperialism doesn't serve the people it subjugates and destroys. It doesn't benefit the people carrying out the violence, and it doesn't benefit the people living in the imperial core. It only benefits capital. It's time to do away with empire and focus on ourselves. Oh, how do people support this guy? Why? Like I really believe either it's 100% astroturf, which I mean it's kind of true because he's a nepo baby, and in fact he's such a nepo baby that it wasn't sufficient for his uncle to own a media company and for him to beg him to be on camera despite how awful he was. I think he still is. He's boring as shit, but he's gotten better because he was that fucking bad. Even that wasn't enough. He needed destiny, the creep destiny. It was already known that he was a creep. It was already known that he was a weirdo. Hasan Piker needed to cozy up and kiss ass to destiny. Again, nepotism was not enough. Nepotism was not enough. This is how incompetent and fucking stupid and just talentless Hasan Piker truly is. Nepotism was insufficient for him to find success. Understand that. Not only did he need to cozy up to the creep and destiny, Stephen Banal or whatever the fuck his name is, he needed to steal people's content. We're talking about, yes, major studio bullshit like Hell's Kitchen or whatever the fuck, TLC shows, but who cares about that? That's just lazy. But he needed to steal people's content, like actual small creators, working class individuals. He needed to steal their content and leave his fucking empty chair. This is how talentless he truly fucking is. But because he's white and because he's considered to be attractive, none of that fucking matters. Because his family was rich, he could fucking just invest all his time on this. No sound. Everything's good on my end. Try to refresh the stream chat and let me know. Access Audio, thank you for the super chat. His fan said Hasan was channeling Lenin. Oh my god. Fuck. Shit. Do me a favor, chat, refresh and let me know if there's an issue. There was a lag. All right, cool. All right, cool. Sound is fine. Thank you. Thank you. That's annoying. Yo, I'm easily entertained because Full of the Dead says, what do you call a basement full of liberals?
I voted for Kamala Harris. You got a problem?
A wine cellar. That is great. And Espresso Depresso appearing just to say and approve of that. That is fucking funny. I'd never heard that before. I love classic like setups. You know, these what do they call these type of jokes? Like street jokes or bar jokes? I just thought to thank for the super chat. Incredibly irresponsible of him too, when you have people mobilizing for fascism and he drops his analysis to get Americans off the hook. That's the thing. That's the thing. And this is why I was saying, like, shout out to Brenda Down, Kim Brown. Bro, if a black woman in America is able to acknowledge, recognize, and say, no, fuck all that. We benefit from everything that the beast is doing, despite whatever struggles and oppression and subjugation, marginalization that we may face. We have to acknowledge that we benefit from this shit. Dom, he doesn't have to say shit because his cult will defend him no matter what he does. Understand that the same type of mentality that the MAGA cult has, the Sanabi cult has. Same fucking thing. Donald Trump can appear 100 times in the Epstein files alongside Hasan Piker, and they will have the same amount of support before and after. Dude, if you don't believe me, Vosh exposed himself. Vosh exposed himself as a pedo, as somebody who saves, doesn't just watch, saves Lolly. For those of you that don't know, and I'm sorry to break the news to you, Lolly is drawn child. Yeah, it's utterly fucking disgusting, and you're a pedo in my book. Emma Vigeland, Hassan, Mike from PA, and countless of actual politicians as well as Nina Turner were still willing to organize and work alongside Vosh. These white men can do anything. These white men can do anything. And I don't mean that as a compliment. Espresso Depresso, the Twitch chat says, also, when he says it benefits capital, that's reification. Capital is something abstract, not something real. Imperialism always benefits the imperial core. That's the point. Hasan is generally an idiot. I don't think, okay, I think he's talentless. I don't think he's an idiot. I think he's lazy. I think that if I had millions, I would not be streaming for 8 hours a day. I would stream for probably like 4 hours. For those 2 other hours, I would have some of the best intellectuals educating me. I would pay them to tutor me. The other 2 hours, the minimum, I'd be organizing to some capacity. And there's your 8-hour workday. You putting your fucking time while, of course, you're funding local organizations. Blade J, you know the rules around here. We need receipts. I want to believe you. I want to believe. I want to believe. But we need receipts around here for comments like that. Although I know that he said certain things. I won't read Blade J's message or comment on the Deculturation live chat, but I will play off of it. Vosh has talked about the age of consent going down if socialism is successful because power dynamics will either disappear or decrease through socialism. So in sense, because of that, age of consent would be lowered because the power dynamics are no longer in play. Truly fucking disgusting mental, like, gymnastics having to occur to try and rationalize your hopes and desires of the age of consent being lowered. So, Blade J, I'm not saying that you're lying. I would never say that because it tracks. What I'm saying is, we kind of need the receipt. You know what I mean? So, it's getting a cosign by CF Keefe. So again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're lying. I'm just saying, unfortunately, around here, them are the rules. All right. Oh, man, we're doing something nice. We're doing something nice. Let's see if it's here. Let's see if it's here. Am I spelling it wrong? No, yeah, it's a. Dude, when YouTube gives it to you. Again, I don't know if I want to co-sign some of these people. All right, whatever.
You know, explain the age of consent take. Yeah, I said that my thought at the time was that in the fucking communist future, in the glorious communist future, that you could justify having an age of consent of like 16 or whatever, which I think is what it is in the UK right now. The idea for that being that since economic exploitation is a huge metric for abusing children, if that was no longer a concern or a metric by which you could abuse people, it wouldn't be as much of an issue. So basically my take was that hypothetically, in an economic scenario that doesn't exist in the world...
Mind you, this is him defending his position. If it sounds awful, just imagine what his original fucking statement was. I'm not going to find it. I'm not going to look for it.
World right now, we might eventually be able to sustain the thing that the United Kingdom does right now, currently. That's literally the take. That's it. Of course, now I know that Britbongers are terrible, and we should never try to emulate anything that they do.
Oh yeah, now things are different. Mind you, this was 4 years ago. At least it was clipped 4 years ago. Just last year, he exposed himself for saving, downloading, maintaining Lolly. Man, again, white men in lefty spaces, they could do whatever. They could do and say whatever the fuck they want. And again, Vosh, just like Sam Cedar, just like Hasan Piker, rich fucking parents. Grew up in Beverly Hills. All right, let's refocus, chat.
Like our lifestyle is enhanced by the dumb shit that this country does abroad, right? So we can't act like we don't in some way benefit from the exploitation of everybody else in the global south. We absolutely do.
For sure.
For sure. Definitely like our phone.
Sorry, wrong dumbass comment or tweet from Hasan Piker, but this is the one that was, man.
So several things. One, that comparison is fallacious, ear doctor, because if only the large time and historical jump we have from one to the other, like if only that, right? Let alone this narrative around our people didn't try to come and save us and all sorts of stuff, like, and all the historical inaccuracies with that. Like I'm going to leave that alone for just a moment, right? Coming down to the present day, let's just be clear, right? We have a way, because of communication networks and all these other things, we know things that are happening around the world in a way that people did not know back then. So let's just, separate in that way, first and foremost. But to Renee's point, right? Fundamentally, most USians or people who live here, right, or Americans, whatever they want to call themselves, right, do not disagree, right, with what's happening in Israel, right, or the genocide, I should say, right, in Gaza, because fundamentally, the U.S. and Israel are on the same path. Israel is further behind, though, right? So you have to talk about, shout out to Deculturation, I see him in the chat, shout out to Carlos, you have to talk about, and they have to focus on apartheid, which is only a symptom, a tool of settler colonialism, as opposed to talking about settler colonialism. If you focus on settler colonialism, you have to focus on land back, and you have to make an analysis here about the U.S. around who this land also belongs to, and they don't want to do that, right? because fundamentally they think that this thing is special and unique and good for humanity, et cetera, despite all the genocide and enslavement, right, that went into creating it, right? So too over there, it's just happening too soon right now. We got to get a little ways away from it. We got to get Palestinians some civil rights and get them a vote. So then now Israel can exist as a democratic, fair, state, right? Like that is the kind of logic that they're trying to employ. You know what I mean? And
now I want to make something very clear. In no way am I saying that Evan is saying this because of my streams or anything like that. Not at all. Not at all. In fact, it's when you start studying this shit, settler colonialism, it becomes obvious. I'm not saying anything unique here. I'm not saying anything unique. I am not uniquely intelligent. I'm not uniquely well-read. I've done the basic shit, and I'm still missing a lot of basic information. And I still see the reality of the fucking world. And it's so fucking frustrating. And I think the only reason Evans in this moment referenced me is because he hears me spewing the same fucking basic shit. The same basic shit. How is it that we understand that? How is it that you in the chat understands that? And magically, somehow, Hasan Piker, Sam Cedar, Emma Vigeland, and the rest of the leftist mafia can't understand that. What is it about all them? That despite their ideological differences or disagreements, what is it about all them, Bad Empanada included, that ties them together? What is the common factor? Woe is me. Whiteness over everything. That's why they play fucking stupid. That's why they play fucking dumb. I don't think they're that stupid. They're just that fucking white.
We need to disrupt that and get to the kind of the core issue, right, of settler colonialism, of imperialism, right? Because it's not about apartheid, right? That's a symptom. That's a symptom of a much larger structure. And again, while we're here, right, shout out to deculturation again. We're frustrated with ourselves because we don't have a vanguard party to effectively channel our energy. Everything else feels futile or insufficient, right? Like at the end of the day, we have our organizations, right? But none of our organizations are vanguard parties, right? We're trying to do our work locally, nationally, internationally, make those connections. But at the end of the day, like that is eventually what we will need to be able to actually act upon, our ideas and our view of the world.
Thank you so much to Evan. Truly, truly, truly appreciate him. Honestly, means a lot. Means a lot. And I was running late for work, and I can't tell you, feeling shitty, still lingering with some NyQuil in my system. Can't tell you how that really just uplifted me. So thank you. Thank you to Black Liberation Media and the Morning Remix crew. More importantly, Burn It Down Kim Brown. Vaguely knows who I am now, so super fucking happy. Super fucking happy. The Great Yahweh. I don't do this. It's the lighting, and I think that the camera might do it automatically, right? But I haven't done it. I haven't added filters or anything like that. In fact, I can't really add filters because of the background, the lighting. It'll fuck with the lighting. I don't know why my skin looks good on camera. It's not. It's bad, bro. It's bad. I got a whole acne. I can't have peanut butter. I fucking love peanut butter. I cannot have peanut butter because I get wild pimples, and I get them already as it is. So these brownies would have peanuts in them if I could. If I wasn't so vain. Somebody mentioned here, yes, James Light says bananas used to be so cheap, and still now because of U.S. imperialism in Guatemala. It was so bad we started a civil war there to keep banana corporations in control of those nations. No, James. You say that, but have you considered that Western imperialism doesn't serve the people? It subjugates or destroys. It doesn't benefit the people carrying out the violence. And it doesn't benefit people living in the imperial core. It only benefits capital. It's time to do away with empire and focus on ourselves. James, have you thought of that? Hasanabi 313. Have you thought of that? Yeah, and unfortunately, there's quite a few clips of Vosh outing himself as a predator, but of course, did not stop Emma Vigeland, a feminist icon, if you will, from co-signing him. Yes, checkmate atheists, 100%. Oh yeah, they're brutal. They're painful way. There's a bar by Residente in Spanish. Well, I'll translate it, but he basically says, "I'm as annoying or as uncomfortable as a pimple on your lip." Now you don't get pimples on your lip, but you get it like around them, right? I haven't had one of those in a bit, but I remember like almost like in tears trying to pop a pimple like around your lip area because it's so sensitive. It's brutal, man. But yes, I mean, but this take is so fucking ridiculous. Let me make sure I sent the right information for some union stuff. I can't talk about it right now. I'll be able to talk about it next month. But some cool stuff might be happening. Thoughts on Edgar's? What do you mean? Fucking work with those little fuckers, man. I used to go to school with the proto Edgars. There's a couple fucking like, man, like these fools are holding it down. Like showing up to school, high school, white tees, fucking leather big ass belt buckles, belts, and like blue jeans. Now most of them did not rock botas. They weren't that like, but anywho, and they'd be blasting fucking like rancheras y narco corridos. And you know, they were doing their own little thing. And it was a little group of them, and I was like, fuck, man. Like, I never hated on them. I never interacted with them. They kicked it somewhere different. It's never had an issue. So for me, those were the proto Edgars. But they weren't as active. The Edgars are active, man. Funny ass fools. Can I share that story? Man, can I? I don't think I was a union rep. I think I could share that story. Fuck, man. I knew an Edgar that ended up in the news for the dumbest shit imaginable. We didn't know that it was him until a bit after. So there was this. Hold on, let me see if I can find that. Hold on, because it was legit in the news. What would you call that? Like, let's see. No. There was no injuries. No, okay, I think this is his. No, that's 2009. That wouldn't be it. Nobody was hurt. I don't know what year it would be though, unfortunately. Not a month ago. This was a couple years, like 2-3 years ago. Sure, I'm not gonna be able to find it. 2024, maybe? Yeah, I think this might have been it. I think this might have been it. Is this LA? I didn't even check where. Yes, CBS LA. Okay, this was it. This was it.
Just days after its grand opening, a driver crashed into the business. Our Leslie Marin is live tonight on the scene in Southgate. Leslie?
This wasn't it. This is an actual accident, or at least it looks like an accident. This wasn't it. So a bunch of these little egger foos. 3 weeks ago? No, that's wrong. 1 month ago. And they stole a bunch of items. Maybe if I post 2018, no. 2025. No. Anywho, I don't think I'll find it. So these fools crash into a bakery, a panaderia, way. They crash into it on purpose and run in and steal steal a bunch of shit. Stealing food, yeah. And it made no sense to me. I'm like, why would you do this? There's like, why would you steal fucking what, pan dulce way? And the funniest part is that this fool got caught up. The cops were able to find him because there was still pan dulce in his vehicle. Yo, fucking beaner ass shit that has to be. That there's still pan dulce in your car. Oh man, there's none of these. I don't know why it's none of these. But I remember seeing the footage. Like we were at work and we saw the footage and we just thought it was dumb. It was funny. We were all laughing. We were probably playing like Onkian or some shit. And we just laughed at it. But nobody died. It wasn't anything deadly, thankfully. Nobody got injured. And yeah, sure enough, we find out like a couple days later that this fool gets caught up for it. But like, what do you say to that? You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Or maybe it was this one, but this was the most recent one. Anywho, let's move on. We've been here an hour just talking bullshit. Yeah, that's funny as shit, man. That's how, man. Don't let anybody tell you I'm not working class. I'm working with Edgars that are doing heist on panaderias. Your boy's struggling out here, dog. Man, shout out to the super chat. Super stickers are turned on. Join the Patreon if you can. Help me get out of the struggle. Fucking A, man. Let's see if it's not too bumpy. I'm scared of these Edgars. Bro, like your jefa can go into that fucking panaderia and get you like un puerquito way. What do you need the pigs actually showing up? By the way, I'll argue with anyone. The best pan dulce son los puerquitos. Argue with anyone. Yeah, Expresso Depresso, I've heard that, but shit, man, some of them are fucking yellow, ready to go, bro. Bread heist, I mean, that's what it was. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure Newton. Yeah, he did. But yes, again, this line here, it doesn't benefit the people carrying out the violence. Understand that this is apologia for war crimes, for Graham Plattner cosign right there. There's absolutely so like pseudo intellectual. Like this is catering to whiteness. This is catering to whiteness. And that's the reason why he's so popular and so successful. Man. I'm so fucking pathetic of this guy. Like, is this even worth debating? Western imperialism doesn't serve the people, it subjugates and destroys. I mean, that's fairly fucking obvious. If by subjugate and destroys mean the colonized people, okay, no shit. But then immediately, it doesn't benefit the people carrying out the violence? Homie, say that to the fucking Camaros. Say that to the Camaro buyers. What the fuck are you talking? What is the GI Bill? What the fuck is the GI Bill if not a benefit to those who carry out violence? Why do you think Grant Planner was so comfortably able to set up an oyster farm when he was just, I was just a bartender, and these black people wouldn't tip me? What's wrong with them? They wouldn't tip me, Hasan. Why? Is there culturally something wrong with them? No, motherfucker, they can smell your racism a mile away. Bro, you look like you fucking stink. It looked like you had the stench of oysters on you before you became an oyster farmer. AKA a fucking petty bourgeois. An owner of a company, bro. Man. It doesn't benefit the people living in the imperial core. We are the people living in the imperial core. And we're not white and we're not rich. And we're able to tell you, yes, it fucking does. You know what radicalized me from such a young age? Being 2 hours from the frontera and being able to see family members struggle. Like struggle bad. That is something that affected me to such an extent that if it helped form the individual that I am today, to this fucking day, that's because I didn't grow up going to private schools. Why do you think Hasan Piker doesn't have an accent? Because he grew up going to private schools. I didn't grow up riding horses, right? I wasn't trained to be a fucking jockey, bro. This is a white person through and through that has not seen struggle a day in his fucking life, has not had a real job a day in his fucking life. Everything has been handed to him. Everything. This is why he's so fucking insecure. This is why he can't handle criticism. Because everything's been handed to him. So even a semblance, a fucking semblance of criticism or struggle that is put on his path, he views as oppression and subjugation. Man, remember, a woman not reaching back to him, not contacting him, it's enough for him to call the cops on her. This is who we're talking about. It only benefits capital. It only benefits capital. Look, we're not over here spewing, Reaganomics trickle down bullshit. But come on, bro. Come on. The height of the American so-called middle class, when they were at their best, was because we were reaping the rewards of imperialism to its fullest. It's time to do away with empire through the Democratic Party, of course, and focus on ourselves. Focus on ourselves is some America first dog whistle, bro. Understand that's some fucking America first bullshit. Focus on ourselves is no different than America first. Why the fuck is your socialist leader, democratic socialist, populist, spewing this nativist, isolationist, focus on ourselves bullshit? I mean, really, everything else is just, should be recognized as a farce, as a lie. But this last part, I haven't seen people really talk about it. Focus on ourselves. Do you realize that this is isolationist, reactionary language. That this is some propaganda that a nativist would be preaching about. Let's focus on ourselves. Populism doesn't even have a legit definition. It just loosely, and again, I had to put down that Thomas Frank book, right? If you want to know some bullshit, if you want to laugh, check out this book. Let's see the image with the foot. Thomas Frank, Anti-Populism, The People Know, or what is it called? A Brief History of Anti-Populism. Oh my God, this fucking book does pretzels to avoid talking about socialism. It is so fucking sad, and I had to put it down for a second. Look, populism just means, hey, the vast majority of people are working class individuals, so we should have a government that does right by the majority. And the majority are working class. So let's have a government that does right by the working class. Here's the issue. Here's the little thing that becomes very difficult. The majority are colonizers. So if we go by that logic, you're asking for a government that caters to whiteness, that caters to colonizers. Why the fuck would I be in support of that or advocating for that? Why would any of us? It makes no fucking sense, of course, unless you're white. The thing is, Thomas Frank is at least a decent writer, so it's not a difficult read. It's just obnoxious. So yeah, populism doesn't really have a left or right. There's no, very much how fascism has no real definition. Populism shares the same fucking benefit. And there's a reason why you see this whole push for left-wing populism versus right-wing populism. All right, bro. All right. We don't say left-wing socialism. We don't say right-wing socialism. We say you're a fucking fascist. You're a national socialist. We're just trying to hijack socialism for reactionary needs, promising the masses goodies that Hasan apparently believes they don't get. How do you think FDR saved capitalism? How do you think FDR saved capitalism? Jesus fucking Christ, bro. No, you're good, you're good. I don't even know if Cenk Uygur would be a populist because he's a fucking union buster. I mean, there's no point of trying to find out what Cenk Uygur is. He's just an opportunist. Has always been. If somebody in college is organizing pro-war rallies, old enough to sign up to go to war, and is spending his time organizing pro-war rallies without actually enlisting, that is an opportunist. That is a fucking snake to their core. To their fucking core. I do need to get some water, though. I do need to get some water. Because this drink's good. It's just... Wait, why the fuck would you... Who the fuck... Why would... Sorry, I'm so mad right now. Bro, why the fuck would you drop my information in this chat? Sorry. I have to add an LOL to hide how fucking pissed I am right now. Hold on. What the fuck, bro? Sorry, yo. I don't know. Sometimes, whatever, man. I love my member at large, Ayo, but like, come on, bro. Can we have some fucking decorum when it comes to fucking passwords and usernames? Anywho. All right. Can we move forward? Can we move forward? I'm sorry. Sorry. All right, yeah, let's move forward here with this right here. Just a little cherry on top in the haterade. Hey, you got Claudia, you got one. You got some praising in there. I mean, believe me, I've heard them all at this point when one of my favorite people got that position. A lovable giant. And so that's all he heard, all those jokes. Every single joke you think he heard for like the first few months. Nancy Pelosi's seat can go to the anti-Zionist former AOC chief of staff, who will be a strong defender of class-first politics. So your brown and black asses better shut the fuck up. Or a dude who visited Israel after October 7th and defended the California Zionist censorship bill, who will now sheepishly claim he's an Israeli skeptic. I mean, you glorify Sam Cedar, so okay. So this is Kim. I don't follow them. I don't know their work, but they break down that this individual here, which is Sakat. It's not racism this time. It's just my lack of pronunciation skills. Sakat calls Gaza a genocide, says he supports BDS, and pledges to cut military aid to Israel. Meanwhile, his financial disclosures show that he holds about $1 million to $5 million in Blackstone, which is claims to have divested after public scrutiny, no proof though, which owns F-35 components used by the IDF and donates $7 million to Israel after October 7th. Oh, okay. Quick update. The other person was my union president's new number. So I got upset for no reason. Apparently I was in the old chat. Wait, did you call me an idiot? Hold on. Because I do want to share that. Oh, I know. He said, "Did you forget already?" So now I have to put C in a cute little emoji to show him that I'm a silly goose. I'm telling you, I'm a hothead. I you don't really see it here because I'm not interacting with other people, but I can be a little, quick to the trigger. Ay. He platformed Gabor Mate. I didn't know that. He did. I totally forgot. Give me a sec. I'm gonna grab some water. These fuck, I don't know what that was. I'm all over the place today. It's late. It is what it is. 10 p.m. Thank y'all for being here. Aaron or Gabber? Because I know Aaron Maté is the one that downplayed Epstein and the ban and shit. I know Gabor Maté did the same.
I voted for Kamala Harris. You got a problem?
Gio, thank you for the super chat. I think every one of the people running that are backed by these streamers will lose except for Plantner, and that's only because it's Maine. Bro, I did not know Maine was... I mean, I thought it was Utah. I thought it was Utah that was like the white capital of the world, and apparently it's Maine. Terrifying, bro. But kind of perfect fucking place to use as a testing ground to see how much you can normalize a white supremacist, a open white supremacist in the Democratic Party. Wow. Okay, where were we? He owns 5,000 to 1 million in KKR, an active BDS boycott target with direct investment in Israeli military surveillance and intelligence infrastructure. He owns Microsoft stock, which BDS named its #1 corporate boycott target for providing inference for the IDF's kill list AI. He collects at least 352,000 to 3.1 million of income per year from these. He also holds multiple other second-order investments tied to Israel. I wonder if he'll vote the way he talks or the way he invests. And it's getting to the point where, and I forgot who else I saw. Oh, with Giannis, whatever the fuck his last name is. That fucking opportunist trying to trademark techno-feudalism, which sounds badass, but it's just a waste of fucking time. But anywho, it seems like every person that Hasan Piker interacts with is a liberal Zionist. And that's kind of fucking scary. Like, I know we're talking a lot of shit. I know we're calling this shit out. But the fact that liberal Zionism is going to survive, or so it appears, and that it will be the main foundation for the future of the Zionist entity, and that people like Hasan Piker are aiding and abetting it and will be rewarded, not just with millions, but with influence, with clout, with legitimacy. In so many ways, this feels like a modern day Goebbels, but where Stephen Miller looks like Goebbels and is more like upfront about it, Hasan Piker has normalized liberal Zionist in such an insidious and subtle way that it's fucking chilling, because it really leaves you feeling like you are, and you know I avoid saying this because of, like, we have to embrace wokeness and woke scolling in order to be fucking better and more considerate. We're not fucking cowards. We're not thin-skinned. We're no shivering at the sight of accountability. But legitimately, it makes you feel like you're insane. Like you're not in touch with reality. Seeing all the praise and support that somebody like Hasan Piker gets, when all they're doing is normalizing Zionism. Now, not the rabid, not the fucking obvious, if we're not being anti-Semitic, not the obvious type of fucking Zionism. It's okay. I'm friends with Dr. Ball. So you can't, it's okay. Sam Cedar gave me the pass, so it's fine.
You say we.
No. All right. But when it's obvious, it's easy to call out. But when it's a little bit more subtle, You could brush that shit under the rug. But it survives. But it survives. Well, you know, it's easy. Peter True says, the minute Hasan or Mike from PA mention a candidate, I know that person sucks. But see, it's easy to say that because they support the Democratic Party. They are Democratic Party sheep herders, right? Sheepdogs, excuse me. Pardon me. They're sheepdogs for the Democratic Party. In fact, let me pull this up because I totally forgot this happened because this person's so fucking irrelevant that I was surprised when they popped up on my For You page. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I guess it would be under my replies. wait. Okay. I'll go back to that. I'll go back to that in a second. Where is this fucking idiot? Ben Dixon. Ben fucking Dixon. Where are you fucking? Oh, here you go. Here you go. So Ben Dixon says, it says a lot that the most coordinated online political action we've seen from Democrats since Donald Trump's re-election has been to go after Hasan Piker and his left-leaning media, but not to go after a single policy of Trump's. Really, ask yourself, when have you seen them be this coordinated? Which is just fucking stupid and lazy, but sure. So I wrote, if Ben Dixon is involved, understand he is meant to mislead you. The Democratic Party's vilification of millionaire Hasan Piker, and please, if you ever refer to Hasan Piker, he is a millionaire. He is a millionaire. Do not let anyone forget that this is a millionaire that we're talking about, if not a multi-millionaire. There's a reason why the language changed from these rad libs from bashing millionaires to bashing billionaires. It says everything you need to know about them. Is an attempt to control the Overton window. So a socialist that will only work with the Dems is the furthest left you can reasonably go. Mind you, this was a day later that it popped up on my timeline. And Pastor Ben, that's how you know these people that have, look, 159,000 followers. Claims to be an anti-fascist, sure, buddy. Responds to my barely 1,000 followers account and says whatever helps you get through the day, I guess. So I remind him, the only fucking Dixon that we like around here is Bruce Dixon. Bruce Dixon exposed you Democratic Party sheepdogs over a decade ago. Are you still getting paid by Zionist Sam Cedar to attack black women, Ben? We don't forget who the sellouts are. And if you don't know, Benjamin Dixon, accused Brianna Joy Gray of being, I honestly don't even know if I could say the word. I don't know if it's appropriate. But during slavery, the women that were forced to sleep with the slave masters, there was a specific word that was used to categorize them, to call them. And that's what Ben Dixon called Brianna Joy Gray. Her master being Jimmy Dore. Yeah, Claudia, exactly that. We have our criticism of Brianna Joy Gray. But I hope you, and I hope no one in the space in any way would ever disrespect a black woman by labeling her as such. I found this so fucking disgusting. And the only reason Ben Dixon apologized was because he started losing subscribers. He started losing subscribers because it was so abhorrent. And in case those of you don't know, Claudia, Yeah, the phrase was bedwench. He called Brianna Joy Gray a bedwench for Jimmy Dore. He did this on the Majority Report. Do you see why I'm telling you? Do you see why I'm telling you that the Majority Report is anti-black? That Sam Cedar is anti-black. They distanced themselves from Ben Dixon afterwards. But Ben Dixon was just doing what he thought Sam Cedar was going to applaud and what their audience was going to support. So Ben Dixon says, last I heard from the Dum Dum Coalition was I was getting paid by Candace Owens. So this is an improvement. So I haven't heard this whole Dum Dum left thing in a while, right? There's a whole Jimmy Dore heyday thing. So I found that interesting. So I said, Dum Dum Coalition, you and Bree both cozy up to what Dr. Horn calls backward Euro Americans. But at least she didn't use slavery insults to please her Zionist boss. Are you allowed to define Zionism, Ben? Or will the Dems get mad at you? The Majority Report already used you up. What do you got to lose? Never reply to that. The reply to this was not him. So apparently, he cannot define Zionism. Fucking disgusting individual. Actually, let me see if I can find the original. Because again, the rules apply to me too. The rules apply to me too. I need to have receipts. Jesus Christ, I'm so glad that I blacked out the screen because whoa. Oh fuck. Jesus. Hold on. What the fuck, man? I guess you know what? I guess it's kind of my fault for searching that word, I guess. God damn. Fuck, bro. What the fuck, man? Hold on. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna find it. How about the Majority Report? I mean, that's a receipt that we do need to have on deck. I do know that Brianna Joy Gray, so the co-host of Ben Dixon's shows, apologized to Bree. I remember that much. But I don't remember the name of that video. Anywho. If somebody has that, please drop it in the Discord. Yeah, Fascism Watch just was like, is now saying hello after like 20 comments, which we appreciate, but that did make me laugh. And it was Varoufakis. Yeah, Yanis Varoufakis is spewing anti-Iran propaganda right now, which only helps the Zionist entity at this moment. Well, to be honest with you, Camden didn't do it. I've been lagging on my Sudan coverage as well. Sudan coverage. We do have a piece. Ace always, appreciated, keeps me updated on Sudan, which I'm so fucking grateful for, because we are all failing Sudan. Well, no, that's not fair to say. Some of us are failing Sudan, myself included. Let me find this. Oh, the AOC piece. That's the other thing I didn't want to miss. Give me 1 second, y'all. So, oh, here it is. God, this is so fucking pathetic. God, this is so fucking pathetic. And look, I get it. She looks great in this photo. We have to prioritize, not prioritize, we have to understand and put into its appropriate power, influence of attractiveness. It sucks. It makes you sound like a creep, a weirdo, what have you. But we have to understand that the reason Hasan Piker gets away with so much is because he's attractive. He embraces the bimbo or himbo label in order to disarm people, in order to get ahead of it, in order to hide behind it. It's a shield. Remember, white men use incompetence as a shield, ignorance as a shield. Yes, desirability is power, 100%. It sucks to say there's a reason why the New York Magazine chose this photo, right? Will AOC's vow to oppose Israel military aid set a standard? This is probably not gonna be free, obviously. Let's see here. What? Oh, shit's happening. Okay. Representative Alejandra Ocasio-Cortez. Let me make sure y'all can read this as well. Right there, yeah. Representative Alejandra Ocasio-Cortez pledged to oppose any future military aid to Israel, including defensive weaponry. During a New York City Democratic Socialists of America forum held Tuesday evening, her promise comes as the political organization has consistently pressed the Congresswoman on her past votes on the issue over the years. Bro, if she, spoiler, she's setting up for a presidential run. At the very, well, not at the least, but it's clear. Maybe she's just trying to get her feet wet. Maybe she's not even trying to win. She just wants to see how far she can get, just get some name recognition. It's very obvious that she's looking for an upward trajectory in her political career. So now, after so much of the damage and destruction and extermination of the Zionist genocide of Palestinians has been carried out and still continues, literally a ruling just passed in the Zionist entity, because, they have to pretend that they're a democracy, that they got rules, that they're not barbarians, that they're civilized, that they're going to be able to hang Palestinians accused of certain crimes, including terrorism. And mind you, any indigenous person, any indigenous Palestinian resisting colonization is a terrorist. But now she's going to say, oh, okay, now she understands. Now she gets it. Now the pressure matters. It's not opportunism. Of course not. Why would it be that? According to City and State, which obtained a recording of the virtual members only forum, Ocasio-Cortez was asked if she would support an arms embargo on Israel. Quote, I have not once ever voted to authorize funding to Israel, and I will never, Ocasio-Cortez responded. Please tell me there's more. Please tell me there's more. Oh, bro, please tell me there's more than that. That's not just a hype. Before her tweet clarifying whatever, please tell me there's more to this, and that wasn't what people were fucking celebrating. These fucking libs. Holy shit, man. The Congresswoman continued, the Israeli government should be able to finance their own... Oh, so she's just mad that... She's like, no, they can handle it themselves. Wow. She's like, we gave them enough already. Wow. The Israeli government should be able to finance their own weapons if they seek to arm themselves. So if they want to arm themselves for a genocide, because believe me, the Zionist entity would commit a genocide in Iran as well, if they're allowed to, if they can. They should fund it themselves. Wow, so fucking brave. What a true anti-Zionist. Ocasio-Cortez was then posed a follow-up question with a DSA member asking her, if the moment presents itself in Congress, will you commit to voting no for ending spending on arms for Israel, including so-called defensive capabilities? Mind you, we only have to include the defensive aspect to the question because she's hid behind that before. The only reason we had to clarify, oh, by the way, Alejandra, by the way, defensive capabilities included, is because she's used that as a shield before. And mind you, when a settler colonial project is defending itself, what is it defending exactly? It's defending its settler colonial, project, the expansion and stabilization of an occupying force. In response, Ocasio-Cortez said yes. She confirmed her stance in a statement Wednesday. The Israeli government is well able to fund the Iron Dome system, which has proven critical to keep innocent civilians... Fucking shit. These innocent civilians, these fucking colonizers, these settlers, were calling for the further destruction of Palestine, of Palestinians in Gaza, bro. To this fucking day, they're celebrating and advocating a war of extermination with Iran. Holy fucking shit, bro. This is the best that the DSA has to offer. This is the best that the so-called left flank of the Democratic Party has to offer. In real time, genocide revisionism. Holy shit, bro. Wow. And you wonder why she's been so cozy with Matt Duns for so long. How do you defend this, bro? How do you fucking defend this? How can you possibly defend this disgusting... We'll get there. We'll find it. Look at this. She backed down. This is big. This is big. And he's still going to cozy up to her. He's still going to cozy up to her. Believe me. Let's wrap this up. The Israeli government is well able to fund the Iron Dome system, which has proven critical to keep innocent civilians safe from rocket attacks and bombardment. Consistent with my voting record to date, I will not support Congress sending more taxpayer dollars and military aid. Can we see more? Is this the same one? Okay, wow. It is. Okay. Wow, she's fucking stupid. So this was updated. This article was updated. Or was it not? Oh no, this is a different one. Why the fuck did they send me here? Oh, it is from the New Yorker. Sorry. Okay, let's read this through. To the government that consistently ignores international law and U.S. law, Netanyahu's allies in the Knesset just approved a $45 billion defense budget, and the Prime Minister himself also asserted his interest in withdrawing from the MOU with the United States in January. It is fully within their ability to fund Iron Dome and other defensive systems. Our allies who need our military aid must understand that we will provide it consistent with the Leahy Amendment and the Foreign Assistance Act. And of course, I believe I follow this person, Maria, settlers can be innocent civilians. They are colonizers who enlist in a baby-killing army. 100% that. Hamon, yes. Late streams. Too groggy in the mornings. Too congested in the mornings. She's literally saying Israel has the right to defend itself as long as it funds itself. Fucking disgusting, bro. Ocasio-Cortez's embrace of this stance will likely have widespread implications in the Democratic Party writ large, as members' position towards Israel and the U.S. funding have begun to shift since the start of the war in Gaza in 2023. The genocide in Gaza, but okay. Politico reported last month that several prospective 2028 presidential candidates like Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey and California Governor Gavin Newsom has said they will refuse donations from American Israel Public Affairs Committee, or AIPAC, a pro-Israel lobbying group that has become a key political player. For Ocasio-Cortez, whom many have floated as a possible progressive candidate for the presidency next cycle and beyond, this definitive statement would likely ease concerns for many on the left who have questioned her past votes on the House related to U.S. military funding to Israel. In 2021, Ocasio-Cortez voted present on a bill to fund the Iron Dome, Israel's air defense system, in an emotional vote that prompted tears, real tears, from the Congresswoman in the House floor. The measure passed overwhelmingly with a 420-9 vote, with 2 members voting present. Which was her vote, right? She switched it from no to present. Ocasio-Cortez explained her vote in a message to her constituents in the state's 14th congressional district, saying that while she was opposed to the bill's substance, the vote itself was rushed and did not allow for proper consideration of the issue. Yes, I wept. I wept at the complete lack of care for human beings that are impacted by these decisions. I wept at an institution choosing a path of maximum volatility. Maximum volatility. Liability to change rapidly and unpredictably. Oh, like volatile. Oh, so volatility. And minimum consideration for its own political convenience. And I wept at the complete lack of regard I often feel our party has to its most vulnerable and endangered members and communities, because the death threats and dangerous vitriol we'd inevitably receive by rushing such a sensitive charge and under-considered vote weren't worth delaying it for even a few hours to help us do the work necessary to open a conversation of understanding, she wrote. That is a wild excuse. Last year, Ocasio-Cortez voted against an amendment put forth by then Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, which would have cut $500 million in military spending from the United States to Israel for its missile defense programs. The proposed change to the House appropriation bill ultimately failed to advance, receiving only 6 votes in favor of its addition. On social media, the Congresswoman explained that she opposed the amendment because it it did nothing to halt military aid to Israel while limiting defensive Iron Dome capacities while allowing the actual bombs killing Palestinians to continue. So I'm sure she proposed her own full arms embargo, right? Quote, I have long stated I do not believe that adding to the death count of innocent victims to this war is constructive to its end. That is a simple and clear difference of opinion that has long been established, she said. In other words, she wants a continued defense and protection, securing the well-being of European colonizers of Palestine. That's Alejandra Ocasio-Cortez for you. So I guess she replied afterwards. Damn. I am interested, though. I am interested in this, because if he says something positive, I want to hear it.
Let the journalists in from around the world to
Why don't you
Jesus Christ. I wonder how long it's going to take for this guy next to him right here, Felix, to be outed as a predator as well. Because it's kind of weird and just kind of weird coincidence here. I'm sure it's unrelated to Hasan that all his homies turned out to be fucking predators. His best friend has been accused of sexual assault. So I wonder what it is. I wonder what it is about Hasan Piker. A sex tourist. I wonder what it is about a sex tourist. I'm scrolling through this, trying to see where it says AOC.
Words, that's what they're saying.
What do I have backwards?
I forgot about this. Electoral Forum ASA committed to voting against any spending on arms of Israel, including so-called defensive capabilities. There it is.
All right.
But the problem isn't that. The problem is that I feel like she's too afraid to lead on stuff. Like,
yeah,
she's too afraid to just like stand on her own on issues. Sometimes when she wouldn't even be on her own, she would be surrounded by like some fairly reliable, very solid policy. AOC came out and let it be known, and I told you that she would, for the record, before she actually did it. Trust the process. A multitude of factors are at play here, obviously. One of them is that the environment has shifted dramatically. That's a big part of it. Now everyone's going to start crying, of course. So, don't pay any mind to that. But I will tell you, I am going to defend her because she did the right thing. She did a bold thing. Okay, it's not bold for us. It's honest and it's just. But for a politician, it is, there are like, 10 American politicians that are in line with this attitude?
Bro is a sheepdog of sheepdogs. Instead of saying, hey guys, she's an opportunist, she waited this long to finally say, hey, I'm not even going to support defensive weapons. After we've seen the most horrific escalation of ethnic cleansing and extermination of Palestinians by the Zionist entity, throughout that entire time, during its highest violence, Alejandra Ocasio-Cortez was still unwilling to end aiding them with defensive weapons. So, of course, now, when she's speaking out against it, and kind of, because she's basically saying, we'll sell it to them. We just, they got to do it themselves. Or they got to find it somewhere else. This wants to praise her instead of telling her audience, hey, she's getting ready to run for president. She's reading the room. She's an opportunist, and she has no true principles against arming the Zionist entity. This is just a calculated measure. This is not something to be applauded. This is something to be recognized as opportunism. instead of educating his audience, which I'm sure some of them already are aware of that, the ones that he will call ultras, the ones that he will call wreckers, because, ooh, they dare to say AOCIA. This guy just wants to get closer and closer to power. He wants to have influence. Shout out to Dr. Ball. I said nothing but nice things about him earlier. All right, let's go.
If you try to hit a left flank criticism on this moment instead of offering support to someone like AOC, I'm going to yell at you. Okay? I don't care. This is how you move the needle. So be smart. And a lot of you.
This is how you train your fucking audience. This is how you train your audience. If you're principled, if you're consistent, if you acknowledge opportunism, he's going to yell at you. Again, they're strategic in how he cultivates an audience that will bend to his will and excuse anything he does, as well as the so-called left flank of the genocidal Democratic Party. This is propaganda, like, to its best. Sheepdogging, like his Zionist leader, Bernie Sanders, taught him. By the way, how expensive do you think the place he's staying at is?
Unfortunately, learned the wrong lesson from this. There is a lot of background comms that took place to arrive at this decision. First, I'm going to explain to you what the significance of the decision is, because it's AOC. And secondly, I'm going to tell you that your tweets are not the reason why it happened, okay? I'm just going to let you know. It's not because you yelled at her on the timeline. I know you want to think that. I mean, the relentless pressure from the outside left has clearly resulted in her position being unviable. Sure, that's the reason. Yes, you tweeted a lot, and Anna Kasparian did too. That's the reason why she did this, okay? If you want to...
He's so fucking mad. He's so fucking mad that other people talk shit to these politicians online, and he can't. And by the way, Anna Kasparian is a horrible fucking vendida, a sellout. But her and Hasan Piker were close. They're like family. So when she came out and said, hey, Hasan Piker hates his audience, and then you see the way he talks to his audience, you realize that she's telling the truth. That like all mean, evil white women weaponize private conversations to out you. But Hasan Piker's audience does not give a fuck. They don't care. They want to be hated by him. They love glorifying and being belittled by rich white men. Wow.
Want to know the truth, that's not the reason. But it doesn't fucking matter, right? It doesn't matter. What is relevant, however, is that AOC, as a nationally, if not internationally relevant progressive figure in American politics, has now changed the dynamic of how people communicate by basically expanding the permission structure.
I love that he calls her internationally recognized because she did one like international forum where she complained that Donald Trump's operation in Venezuela did not dismantle the Venezuelan regime. How are you using that as a bragging chip? As a bragging moment is beyond me.
For a lot of other people. AOC's commitment to not arming Israel at all during the New York City DSA forum will echo across the Democratic Party. She's considered a mainstream politician and serious contender for president. Expect no money for military Israel aid, including defensive, to be a common litmus test. Yes, that's why it's so significant. It's unbelievably significant. AOC then also released a formal statement to the New York Times confirming Peter Stern's reporting from the DSA. Peter Stern is a former DSA member, probably one of the best as far as like insider information on all the comings and goings of DSA. He's the state editor at City and State New York. He says, AOC released a formal statement to the New York Times confirming my reporting. Notably, she praised the Iron Dome itself in the statement, but said the U.S. should not fund it. For more, read my report. Consistent with my voting record today, I will not support Congress sending more tax dollars and military aid to a government that consistently ignores international law and U.S. law. But she did? No, she didn't. She did not. She did not. You are wrong. AOC has never voted to fund Israeli weapons.
Bro, this is what I'm telling you. This is why we need receipts. This is why we need receipts. Because people, well-intentioned, well-meaning people will be like, no, well, she did support this. conniving, insidious, opportunist sheepdogs. Like Hasan Piker would be like, no, well, technically, she never voted to support them. She just abstained from voting. She just voted present. She refused to vote in support of. So unfortunately, and the reason why I require people in my chat, the people in the Discord, to say, hey, if you're going to make a statement, I need some receipts. I'm not doing that because I don't believe you. I'm not doing that because I'm calling you a liar. I'm not doing that because I'm nitpicky or because I'm trying to ruin the fun. I'm doing that because they use every opportunity, any little, if you don't dot your fucking I's and cross your T's, they will use that to try and worm their way out of their accountability and responsibility to aligning with empire. So, unfortunately, we got to be diligent in our statements and our accusations in order to make sure that they can't fucking weasel their way out. That's it. We just have to be better than them. It sucks, but we should be fucking used to it. It's cringe and annoying when it's like, if we want to be successful, we have to work twice as hard as them, this and that. Capitalist mindset, whatever. But when it comes to being petty motherfuckers, I require excellence.
We had this conversation yesterday. She struck down, she voted against a provision, not the final bill, a provision that made no distinction between defensive and offensive weapons. That was a mistake. She should have never done that.
How was that a mistake? How was that a mistake? Did she not read the bill? No, she didn't do that because she came out defending it. So how was it a mistake? It wasn't a mistake. It was a calculated risk. She knew. She knew exactly what she was doing. It was not a mistake. A mistake is doing some dumb shit that you're unaware of. Fucking up. Choosing your allegiance, signaling to empire, like you're going to play ball. That's not a mistake. That's a career move.
She also should have never actually advocated or defended that position. Okay, that was also wrong. But the final bill, she never voted on. She did not vote on it. You are wrong. In the past, she has voted present, but she has never voted in the affirmative to fund Israel. Okay.
Do you see how fucking pathetic this is? But this is why it's like, hey, we just have to be accurate. We just have to be accurate because look what he's doing. And for the more malleable minded individuals in his chat, which is the majority of them, you have to be to give your money to a multimillionaire who grew up rich, mind you. He's spewing this nonsense. She never voted in the affirmative. She did a lot of mistakes, a lot of errors. She was wrong certain times and phases in her life. But she never voted in the affirmative. She never voted in the affirmative. All right? Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I'm not a sellout. I'm not a sheepdog. I'm not an opportunist. I'm not here to mislead you and normalize liberal Zionism. And it's just like, bro, like, why are we playing this fucking game? Why are we allowing a white millionaire to dictate anything going on with remotely the so-called left? And it's getting to the point that not only do I hate him and despise him, but I'm starting to hate and despise any of his fucking viewers. I said it about mods, but now at this point, I'm like, bro, if you're actually like subscribed to Hasan Piker, I got a fucking problem with you. I gotta know. I gotta know. It's gonna take me a long time to get to him. We might be both in LA County, but we live in totally different worlds. Believe me, wherever he's at right now, I can never approach. So I'm gonna have to start like just taking out viewers one at a time. taking them out to, see the countryside, of course.
Okay, she has never done that. Alongside Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, she is one of the best congresspersons, far outflanking Bernie Sanders on this issue.
Again, what did I tell you at the beginning of the stream? These people compare themselves to the worst individuals. He's comparing them to Bernie Sanders, a lifelong Zionist that even opposes a so-called democratic single state, a single Zionist state. Not only that, he's using Ilhan Omar, and he's using damn, he's just said her name. I don't know why I blanked out on her name right now.
In the affirmative to fund Israel. Okay, she has never done that. Alongside Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar.
Rashida Tlaib, excuse me. Both Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, well, no, Rashida Tlaib specifically, came out and essentially threw a subliminal, subtweeted, whatever you want to call it, threw shade at, whatever you want to call it, Alejandro Ocasio-Cortez. Let's see if I can find the video. Dude, they really did sideline Rashida Tlaib. Or she sidelined herself. Here we go. Defensive weapons. It was during a public speech, or was it Ilhan Omar? No, it was Rashida Tlaib. Pretty sure it was. Jesus, man. Everything's about AOC. Y'all remember that? She was at a rally and she's like, yeah, we're not distinguishing I misspelled that. What was here? Jesus. Damn, this was a while ago too. I know we covered it when it happened. No, it's not that. Oh well. It's at a rally.
She is one of the best congresspersons, far outflanking Bernie Sanders on this issue. That's always been the case. The problem here is the comms. Once again, this is not, I need you to understand, this is not me like trading access for whatever, okay? I have never led you astray. I tell you very seriously, even with people that I talk to with regular frequency like Zoran, I will tell you when I disagree with him. Even when you guys yell at me, I tell you why I disagree with politicians. Same with AOC. This is not a defense of AOC unconditionally. There are plenty of things to criticize, but this is a very good thing that she did. However, I will always defend the truth, okay? So when you come out and say, didn't she vote for Iron Dome funding? Oh my God, no, she didn't. She has never voted for Iron Dome funding. She has never voted for any weapons funding to Israel. She has.
Again, he relies on people being miseducated. He relies on that. She did not vote for it. She signaled to the donors and to those above her that she is willing to play ball, that she is malleable, that she is unprincipled, that if enough pressure is applied to her from on top, she is willing to concede. That should be the conversation. That should be the language. The concern right now should be, hey, she got the approval. Understand, AOC didn't even call it a genocide when everyone else was calling Joe Biden Genocide Joe. She did not start calling it a genocide until she got the approval. So now we have to be concerned, shit, what does it mean that she's coming out and saying that she's not going to support any more weapons to the Zionist entity? What is a bigger play? It's not because we're conspiracy theorists. It's not because we don't do that shit around here. It's because we understand how the beast operates. It's opportunistic and it's ahead of the curve. And it uses individuals like Hasan Piker and Sam Cedar to condition the so-called left to normalize whatever the next fucking move is. Again, Hasan Piker recognizing Alejandra Ocasio-Cortez as an international politician, bragging about the fact that she was crying, complaining, admonishing the Trump administration for not concretely getting regime change in Venezuela. In other words, signaling to the rest of the world, if Democrats are back in power, we will be more efficient in how we operate the empire than Donald Trump. That is their promise. That is their message.
Has never voted for it. She's voted against it. I don't like that we traffic in.
What do you have to be tired about, you fucking white multimillionaire? You haven't had a real job in your entire life. What exhausting. Sheepdogging is so exhausting that it is such a white fucking noise to make, bro. If I made that noise growing up, I would have gone smacked across the head and been like, the fuck are you? You think you're tired? You think you know what it's like to be tired? I was the one called spoiled growing up, bro. Because I had my papers. So I was automatically fucking spoiled. different fucking worlds, man. A fascism watch. Because I think it's the first time I see you here. Because you just mentioned that you're white. You, who was this fucking fool that I was looking at? I don't even think I follow them on Twitter, but I saw their post. Were you the same individual that this guy, Bunker Cat, was talking to? We don't mind whites around here. We just hold a high bar. Because in case you didn't know who I was, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. Why was that gato fool calling you was he calling you like a reactionary or something like that? Who people know who Bunker Cat is? I didn't know that. I found them today because they were talking shit about Hasan. They were mainly hyping up Bad Empanada, who is a Westerner, who is part of the West. What the fuck are we doing here? Librarian. Well, I mean, I kind of mind. He lies. No way he would ever do that, bro. I love his excuse. Oh, I don't debate people to my left because we're on the same team. No, we're fucking not, homie. No, we fucking not, man. Oh, man. I know I said that after seeing how entertained he got with his own little soundboard of like recycled fucking noises of just popular noises, that I was like, bro, I would feel like a bully. But like after seeing this shit again, I'm not gonna ruin events that we might both be in terms of like organizing events that he might be trying to clout farm off of. I wouldn't do that. I'm not a narcissist enough to do that. But other than that, I think it's back on, boys.
in fake bullshit. I don't like it. And I understand why. I'm going to be as charitable as possible. I understand why this fake bullshit flies around. And it's partially because of how AOC has carried herself in this conversation, openly standing. That's moving the goalpost. I like you, but she clearly says she supports defending Israel. I'm going to fucking lose my mind. This is not a goalpost move. This is just an accurate reflection of the events that have unfolded. This is just me telling you what AOC's voting track record is, okay? Please, you are so fucking dense. It's so frustrating. This chat must be big NASCAR fans because y'all motherfuckers love going in circles. Yes. I think this drop side tweet describes her voting history well and why it was so strange. It also didn't help that AOC ran to Twitter to defend her decisions. Yes, that was the major problem. I know that. That's why I'm saying my most charitable read is that like she came across like she was literally funding the Iron Dome or something, like personally. Okay? Because she was funding Iron Dome. And it's ridiculous because she didn't even vote for it. Do you understand?
Yes, you fucking idiot. Because she knows that she does not need to vote in favor of funding the Zionist entity. She knows that. She knows that they have the votes. However, she's signaling to the funders, those above her in the Democratic Party, that she won't stand in opposition to their project, that she won't threaten the empire's goals. So she votes present or she refuses to vote conveniently, which allows Hasan Piker and the other opportunists, the other mouthpiece, the other sheepdogs for the Democratic Party like Sam Cedar, Kyle K. Kalinske, you name it, the leftist mafia, Hasan in the forefront to say, look at her voting record. Look at her voting record. While we have to say, hey, look at the bigger fucking picture. She is coming out on Twitter defending her votes and the right for the Zionist entity to arm itself and to defend itself against who? Against who? Against the indigenous Palestinian people. Against Iran, who's arming the indigenous Palestinian people. So fucking frustrating. Okay, I'm trying to be calm, So, with that in mind, she recognizes that people are going to use her voting record as an excuse for what she is saying and, advocating for. The right to the Zionist project to exist and to defend itself. They don't need her votes. They do not need her votes. Because this is the long con. This is the long fucking game. I don't understand why that is so difficult to fucking see. How does everybody know who Bunker Cat is? Wow. That's hilarious to me. I just found out who they were today and I was like, what the fuck?
It makes no sense. It's a classic AOC move where she ends up doing the right thing at the end, but because of her very calculated communication strategy where she wants to have the least amount of people yell at her as possible, she ends up having everyone yell at her, okay? And she confuses people all along the ride.
She's just a victim. She cares too much.
And I try to communicate this to people, and I've talked about this before, as I was very critical of what she had done. I said AOC should not have been striking against this provision. She should have voted alongside, Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar. But not only that, she should have been the one advancing that provision, not Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? If you remember at the time, that was my assessment.
And you don't stop to ask yourself why she doesn't. Do you think she's that fucking stupid? Is it the whole Grant Plattner situation where he's too stupid to know what a tongue conf is? But yet he's a anti-fascist, a devoted anti-fascist, and a World War II history buff. It's the same thing as Kat. It's the same thing as Kat, where she's too stupid to know what her own platform is. She's too young. Is that what it is? Is that what we always turn to? They're too fucking stupid to know any better, but yet we have to vote for them? Well, why would we vote for people that are too fucking stupid? Don't stupid people get manipulated by the system? Don't stupid people get led by the people in power that are more intelligent than they are? Shouldn't we be advocating and supporting for intelligent, principled people that know what they're doing and what they're saying and it's all consistent? We want fucking consistency. Is that so much to ask for? Consistency? Show me that you're fucking principled. The reason why they muddy the waters this way is to confuse you, to mislead you. That's the whole purpose of this. This whole, going in circles, people saying, hey, she voted for the Iron Dome. They're wrong. Yes, they're wrong. But the only reason why they're even bringing that point up is because she switched her no vote to present. Why the fuck would you do that? Why would you go right where the C-SPAN camera is and fake cry? Why would you fake cry when you went from voting no to present? Why would you put out a statement about, oh, it's so tragic that they didn't give us enough time and I was crying for the marginalized? Why would you do that? To muddy the fucking waters, to allow your supporters to create an excuse on your behalf. Again, we saw the numbers. We saw the numbers. It was 420 to what, like 9? We saw the numbers. Her switching her vote meant nothing to stopping that from passing, but what it did was signal to the Democratic Party leaders and to the donors that she's malleable, that she'll sell out. Why do I need to keep repeating this? Because these people, these propagandists, these sheepdogs rely on misinformation and muddying the waters. It's the same reason why Sam Seder cannot define Zionism. It's the same reason why Sam Seder can't define anti-Zionism. It's too difficult, it's too complicated. No, it fucking isn't. None of this is complicated. If somebody's inconsistent, it's because they're a fucking opportunist. If somebody is inconsistent, it means they're unreliable. That means they're untrustworthy. And Hasan Piker has to do the hard job of making you think that you're wrong for mistrusting these people. That is what his role is. He is a propagandist, but not for what he claims to be. He's a propagandist for the Democratic Party. This is why they're vilifying him, to make him seem more legitimate. The reason why they're attacking him is to make him seem more legitimate so the people that do not trust the Democratic Party, oh shit, the people I don't like are attacking Hasan Piker. That means he must be telling the truth. The same fucking mindset, the simple mindset that MAGA had. Oh, Donald Trump, he can't be bought. He's too rich. Oh, Donald Trump, he's calling out the Republicans for supporting all these wars. Surely he's against war. The same fucking mindset for Hasan Piker supporters. Ay, ay, ay. This is tiring to me and I don't have millions to count. Join the Patreon. The goal is to buy Hasan Piker's multi-million-dollar home and turn it into a commune.
We should be leading on this issue. We should be leading on this issue. Our candidates should be leading on this issue. If you're progressive, you should be the standalone voice, unafraid to say the truth. And you will abso-fucking-lutely gain from it, right? You will win favor with the crowd over this, over your honesty, over your boldness. Anyway, you said she consistently votes for the Iron Dome. She voted against this, so she didn't vote for Iron Dome. A single vote doesn't constitute consistent. You misstated our words. That's an incorrect quote. Direct quote. Has consistently voted to maintain funding for defensive systems such as the Iron Dome. Consistent implies multiple. Can you point to multiple times she voted for the Iron Dome? On standalone Iron Dome funding bills, she has twice chosen not to vote no. In 2021, AOC planned to vote no, but famously switched to present at the last second, allowing $1 billion to pass 420 to 9. In July 2025, she voted against an amendment to strip Iron Dome funding. She has publicly stated she does not support cutting aid for what she calls defensive Israeli weapons. In the post above, we said she consistently voted to maintain Iron Dome funding. We did not say she voted yes. In both cases, she declined to block the funding. That is the record. This is the problem. It's already bad that she did that, right? It's bad on its own that she did that. It was wrong. It was wrong for her to vote present. It was wrong for her to strike down against the provision, especially when she ended up voting no anyway. She voted no at the end. For the final bill, she voted no, both against the Iron Dome funding and also for offensive funding, right? Like, so it doesn't even fucking matter. It's a 420 to 9 vote. Just say no. Just be bold, be brave. But
the thing is, it wouldn't even be brave of her to vote no. It wouldn't even be brave. But again, it's greater than that. It's signaling. It's politics. That's holy shit. It's just politics. She's politicking. That's all she's doing. The same way that she was telling the Democratic Party, hey, I will no longer endorse a challenger to any incumbent. In other words, I will pull up the ladder behind me. I will not vote or support for anyone like me coming up if you give me the Oversight Committee chair. She said that. Nobody spoke on that. From the Majority Report to Secular Talk, nobody spoke on that. I spoke on that. Nobody mentioned, hey, AOC is willing to pull up the ladder behind her and abandon the movement that she claims to lead or to, be a part of. All for a committee seat, the Oversight Committee chair. Wow. But again, you mentioned the fact that she's a politician, politicking, and you're a fucking wrecker. Hasan Piker will ban you from his community. What was it? Political. Let's see. What was that? AOC won't. Challengers to incumbents. Some shit like that. It's crazy because I always used to have it here for political. God damn, that fucking noise is killing me. I don't know if y'all can hear that noise right there. He has to be abusive to his audience. It's a mouse knuckle sandwich. Bunker Cat combines well with her audience. I don't know. I haven't watched enough of their content. I understand people falling for bad empanadas, their world fake bullshit. Oh, here you go. I think it's this one. Damn, bro. Isn't it interesting how it becomes harder and harder to find? And mind you, I've already, so it should pop, it should be easier to find this stuff once you've already visited that page. I think, right? At least that's how it used to be. Anywho. Or are they doing it to encourage you to use the AI function? Maybe. See, this is what it's key details. So it's this one, maybe. Oh, it's 2. Okay, this is what it was. I think it is encouraging you to use that function. So again, we encourage receipts here. If you're new here to the channel, subscribe, hit the like button. And if you want to join the Discord, we got plenty of receipts there. Go ahead and join the Patreon. $2 gets you access to a Discord. We have a good time over there. A good time. AOC tells Democrats she's willing to give up her rebel ways. I do like the political version of this. If I'm not lying, but okay. According to a report in Politico, citing 3 people familiar with the conversation, AOC has privately told elected Democrats she may not back future primary challenges to her incumbent colleagues. Wild. Her first bid for office was backed by Justice Democrats, a Progressive Political Action Committee, co-funded by Cenk Uygur and Cal Kalinske. Let's see here. But her squad colleagues' troubles aside, AOC's olive branch likely has more to do with her future in the Democratic Party than her chances on the hustings, which I guess her losing her fucking seat. While she comfortably fended off a primary challenge earlier this year, cruise to re-election, she is currently trying to convince her colleagues that she is worthy of the party's top post in the House Oversight Committee. I do not just make shit up. And mind you, this is not my job to know this shit, to cover these ongoing on the Hill. That's Hasan's job. And yet he doesn't talk about this shit. Because this would highlight that AOC is just out for herself. I need to save this. Hold on, I need to save this. Let's see. Actually, I don't know if I like this one more than I like this one. There was another version of this because this is just short. They're short and sweet. There's a longer version of this that I really like, but it would be a little bit more difficult to find. Anywho, so there we have it. Alejandra Ocasio-Cortez, a fucking opportunist. Where are we at? We're at 2:35. It's 11. Yeah, tomorrow we'll cover more of the Zionist stuff. We'll cover this here. So Anas Salel is the gentleman that shot it at Mamdani. Sorry, Mal's Knuckle Sandwich. Yeah, I know Bunker Cat isn't white. No, I was talking about one of the chatters, Fascism Watch. I guess, I don't know. I was just listening to it like, while I was doing some errands. And I think Bunker Cat's funny from what I've seen so far. I really, really like their energy. But yeah, with their accent and kind of loosely what they were saying about where they were from. I didn't pick up exactly where they were from. I was like, all right, I like this person. They're funny as fuck. When I tell you, like, I love accents. If you have an accent, it lets me know you're not fucking boring. It lets me know you have some fucking culture. At the very least, you have some fucking funny family stories to share. Awesome. We may not agree on anything else, but I'm sure we both went through some nonsense with family dynamics, right? Well, he's Malaysian. Is it appropriate for me to say this? Years ago, I was in Japan. The only fucking good thing I put my financial aid money to use. And there was this family. Man, when I tell you that this family was like beautiful. The husband, the wife, the baby was adorable. And we're waiting for like drinks in the same line. And we just start chatting it up because we were clearly both not from Japan. And you know, they were telling me like you had to visit this and that. It's a beautiful country, all this stuff. And she wasn't wearing any makeup, and kind of more obvious he wasn't either. Dude, when I tell you that, like, you're like, fuck, like two beautiful people got together. That makes fucking sense. And they were so fucking kind, which adds to their beauty, right? Because when you're kind and you're nice and charitable, like you're automatically you're more appealing to people, right? But they were so sweet and humble and like just, man, like just chatting, just friendly. And yeah, so because of them, Malaysia's been on like my list of places to visit. Just because I'm like, shit, man, like you didn't have to be that nice to me, or they could have been shorter, you know, just oh hi bye whatever, you know. But no, they were like they were encouraging the conversation to keep going, and I was just like, that's so dope. I hope they're doing well. Yeah, it's always nice to meet nice people. Where are we at? Did you see the shitty April Fool's skit Mamdani did with Curtis Silva? They uploaded to the NYC mayor's YouTube. They're really not hiding that these politicians and elites are all buddy. I saw it. I didn't click on that shit. Fuck that fool, bro. You're all cool buddies with somebody doing vigilante justice, but you're denouncing the Palestinians' right to armed resistance. Chingate, way. I'm the Mexican that can take his job. They took our jobs. All right. So Anas Saleh says, I don't forgive you, AOC. How many Palestinians had to be killed before you pledged to vote no to funding Israel in any capacity? You may not carry all the blame, but you carry a share of it, and I hope that weight follows you every decision you make going forward. And of course, you had this disgusting fucking individual. Oh, Blue MAGA. Well, it might be. I mean, but this is in line with what Hasan Piker was saying. She voted no on 89% of Israel votes, and she has never voted to arm Israel. Please stop being a fucking drama queen. Mind you, this individual has family members in Palestine. We must be very wary of the left pandering Democrats who will now assume the popular position. Next will be abolishing billionaires and rebranding their wealth. Yeah. All right. Did they not? Yes. Okay. There was another thing here that I wanted to reference from their page, but I don't know if everything moved. So you gotta be careful because there might be some. Okay, we're here. Oh, I hate this little fucker so much, bro. The New York Post reports that a Brooklyn-based drone manufacturer supplying Israel, Easy Aerial, has been forced to leave the city-owned Brooklyn Navy Yard just 6 weeks after Mayor Zohar Mamdani took office. And this guy, your favorite white guy over here, I don't even know his name. Advocacy, insight, and ideas from a young, passionate learner. People first, anti-imperial, anti-genocide, 20-year-old American. Fuck this fool, bro. I cannot stand this guy. If you don't know who he is, look, if you want to know what a fucking narcissist this guy is, he said, one photo of me is not enough. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need 9 of them. Fucking disgusting, bro. And Anas, FYI, Mamdani had nothing to do with this. Such a misleading headline, expected from the New York Post. Every week there was a protest there. They made a lot of noise, and the building was painted red multiple times. This motherfucker just blamed Iran, by the way. This is why I'm saying do not trust white leftists. Sorry, Fascism Watch, but yeah. If you're one of the good ones, you won't mind, and you'll just prove yourself. It's as easy as that. I actually tweeted about this food, but he's right about this. AOC still does not support sanctioning Israel after all this. Again, easy dunks. I mean, when you're to the left of Hasan Piker, it should not be difficult. There's one more thing. God, he's so fucking white. It's unbearable, bro. it just fucking makes my blood boil a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're an anti-white racist. Well, I mean, when you're cozying up to Kyle K.K. Kalinske, I hope you understand why. Let me find it real quick. Hold on. Again, receipts. I don't just make statements without doing my best to show y'all what I'm talking about. I think it should under replies, or did I repost it? I think I reposted it because I know where I'm going to find it. Since apparently I'm just not so smart finding this here. Oh, here it is. We'll go over this tomorrow more. There's actual news because the Majority Report videos we'll be watching will talk on it. So just in tears of joy, Israeli Knesset member Limor Son Har Malik announces the passing of the death penalty for Palestinian detainees. Ben-Gvir can be seen popping champagne inside the Knesset in celebration. She also thanked Netanyahu for finding time in his schedule during wartime to show up to vote in favor. Disgusting. What does this little white fucker say? I'm so confused why Iran did not act to stop this moment from happening. Imagine, just please imagine, like, seeing this news, witnessing this for the first time. And your first fucking thought is, how can Iran do this? How can Iran allow this to happen? This is why I say do not trust these fucking white leftist influencers. This is signaling. Again, this is how they fucking do it. They're not slick. Don't allow them to be slick. You're not being fucking paranoid. You're not being paranoid. Believe me, you're not being paranoid. They're playing a game that we're not even allowed to play. They just legalized the systematic extermination of Palestinian hostages in the Israeli torture camps. And somehow, he puts the blame on Iran. God damn, bro. So I put, this guy has profited off the genocide of Palestinians. That's how he made his name. And now is blaming Iran for the Zionist entity's actions. Stop supporting white influencers. They're nothing but opportunists. This motherfucker found a way to use this genocidal legislation, because again, they have to pretend they're a democracy, to smear Hamas. That is, bro has a gift. That's a new way to serve empire. Wow. Colonizers, bro. Colonizers. They always find a way. Where were we? No, we're over here. There's one more thing that I want to highlight from homie over here. Okay, we're getting close. Sorry about that. He's funny too. He's honestly generally funny too, which I love. Blah, 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 I'm a Zionist, blah, blah, blah. I'll vote no because they can still fund it themselves. I wish I was this articulate. I wish this, I mean, I haven't seen this yet. I would have liked this if I would have seen this. This shit would have had me dying. Blah, 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 I'm a Zionist, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's great. That's great, man. Yeah. I'll vote no because they can still fund it themselves. There's a reason why I don't see Hasan kicking it with people like Anas. In fact, Hasan even turned on Z-Scroll. I don't follow Z-Scroll. I stopped following them a while back ago because of their weird obsession with Chomsky. Even before the Epstein stuff. I've never really cared for Chomsky like that. Provides great information, but his analysis is just trash, bro. Where was it? Okay, yeah. So the April Fool's joke, yes. This right here. Look, they said something pro-Palestine. Look, they might vote no this time. And suddenly we're told to reward Democrats with more power. Can we please remember that this is the same party that helped fund genocide, armed the Zionist occupation, and shield it with impunity? It's that simple. You have to understand that for Sam Cedar, Hasan Piker, Kyle K.K. Kalinske, Crystal Ball, leftist mafia, a genocide of Palestinians was not a red line. A genocide of Palestinians was not a red line. The Democratic Party should have ended. And it wasn't, because people align with white supremacy, with colonialism, every step of the way. Every fucking step of the way. Yeah, the squirrels got their own issues for sure. I don't like when people are fucking anonymous. Like, show your face, you cowards. Fascism Watch says, I don't like Hasan before. Excuse me. I don't like Hamas before of the funding from Israel and the BB files, revelations, and other leaks, infos, but they fully have right to resist. This is in international law. I don't give a fuck if Soros and Benjamin Netanyahu were fucking cheerleading Hamas with fucking pom-poms as they were handing them a cajillion dollars. Hamas is leading the resistance against the colonization of Palestine and should be unfucking critically supported. I don't know how you see them risk their lives time and time again, walking up to fucking tanks. Walking up to tanks. Something that would have all of us pissing and shitting our pants. Every single one of us walking up to tanks. There are no fucking braver people on this planet than them right now. I hate that fucking, I'm sorry, dude, but I hate that fucking propaganda line. And you see the Mehdi Hassans and the Ryan Grims fucking use it time and time over and over again. God damn. It's a way to further smear Hamas. I don't give a fuck, homie. We've known this before. Where's the tanky meme? Where's the tanky meme where it's like, bro, where is it? Oh man, it's with all the brown and black people. Which is fucking ludicrous to say after somebody says that we should have unconditional support for Palestinian resistance, to call them tankies is like, that makes literally no sense. You guys know what I'm talking about? The one with Lamuma? And Thomas Sankara. Can I find it? Who's got a chat? Can somebody drop it in the Discord? Anywho, it's the one where they're like, just call me a sure, call me a tanky, and it's like Sankara, Che, all these badass fucking revolutionaries. The Israel-funded Hamas lie came from Fatah. It's been debunked many times by Palestinian historians. Can we have a celebration for Layla Khalid's birthday? When is it? Even if I had healthy family dynamics, even if I had healthy family dynamics, I'm so bad with birthdays. All right. It's 11:30. I do kind of have to start wrapping up. Tomorrow we're gonna have a fun time covering the Zionism, the Majority Report, April 9th. April 9th or 4th? April 9th. Camden didn't do it. You just lost your PF, your profile pic. Remove it now. You are a poser. you were you were either 5 days off or your dyslexia hit the way mine does. Either way, you just lost your rights to have Layla Khaled as your profile pic. Will I April 9th? What does that land on? I haven't updated my calendar. I'm pretty bad with celebrations, to be honest. What would that consist of? What would we do then? That's a Thursday in a week. Rania Khalek does have a great interview with her, a more recent one. Maybe we could do some readings of hers. Do you have any recommendations, chat, on what readings we could do? A call-in show? Maybe like in a year. I'm not gonna lie to you. Maybe like in a year. Once we hit like 10K, maybe we could do a call-in show. But that's a good idea, Claudia. Her book, her interviews. Yeah, but like something, I mean, we're not going to go through her, I mean, have you seen me read? You know how long that would take? She has a documentary. I don't know about watching an entire documentary. I'm down to like read like, you know, something of hers. Y'all got to understand my ADHD is bad. Like there's a reason why usually I have like multiple topics. All right. It's 11:30. It's late. I got to be up at 6 a.m. What are we doing, chat? Tomorrow we're mainly going to talk shit about the Majority Report. I'm not going to lie to you. Why would I lie to you? There it is. Hasan has you beat in the fast reading department. He does. He does, but I legit have. I mean, it sucks to say, but my dyslexia has always been a problem. All right. Ba, 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 ba. We'll do this. Oh, that's so funny that it would do that. So do me a favor, y'all. Thank you so much for the super chats. Join the Patreon if you haven't already. Helps the channel out. Helps me devote more time to this stuff. Be working on the edited video this weekend. I was sick, so I couldn't do anything with it. Like even writing, which I like doing, I really do. I couldn't focus at all. So I'm like a week behind on the Sister Travis video, which is unfortunate. I was trying really hard to drop it on the 31st. I just couldn't, man. I couldn't get it together. No, Malcolm X forever. Check your calendar, homie. Come on. What day is it today? That's hilarious. I mean, I couldn't help it. I honestly wasn't going to stream, but I'm so fucking dumb that I'm like, it's going to be the only time I could use that headline, you know? All right. Hamon, I'm glad it's working out. Full moon energy. No, I mean, dude, I'm a night owl. I love writing at night. So eventually I like invested in an iPad, right? I was always kind of against it, but I just been like, all right, I need it for the thumbnails, right? And then, so I bought a refurbished one because I was trying to be conscious about the environment, this and that, and all this stuff, cobalt, all these things, right? Well, because it's refurbished, it's going to have certain things that sometimes it's going to act up. Well, I remember for the Grand Planner video, it was like 1 a.m. and it just hit me, and I'm writing like crazy. Like I'm writing so fast that the iPad is like lagging behind. And I finally finished. I'm like, all right, cool. It doesn't save it. It doesn't save it. Or like 2 paragraphs of writing don't get saved. I would have thrown that iPad across the room if I wasn't stopping myself from crying. Because it's so late. I'm so exhausted. I'm so burnt out. I've been writing like all day, right? And when you get into that flow state, I can't really explain it. Like you're just writing all your thoughts. You're no longer thinking. You're just expressing thought. And I almost cried, man. I almost cried. But what's weird is that no, here's what's weird is once I get all my notes down, and once I get like a good, like, it's even hard to call it an outline because it's fairly consistent of what it's going to be. I grab, oh shit, I don't have it here. Oh, I love these little notepads. I don't know why. These like little tiny ones. I don't know why I love these so much. What is this? Does it even say that? Oh, it doesn't. I hate when it doesn't say the measurements. It's like tiny. I've had this forever. I don't really use it until I'm gonna fight something down. I hate the yellow and the legal pads. Sorry, and I just don't like the contrast of the ink. And so once I'm like basically done with everything I need, then I'll write everything in the iPad down on this on these tiny papers. I don't know why. It makes no sense to me. And then it feels like I'm finished. It makes no fucking sense. I'm a fucking idiot. College rule only. That's right. Yes. It just doesn't feel real until I put it on pen and paper. We love a handy dandy notebook. Yes. Blue's Clues and all that. I have like 10 of those scattered around my place right now. The FTP, that's wild. I only tried to buy one of those. Yeah, it sucks, but I just got tired of like buying books. Too many books. It's a fucking safety hazard at this point. I hate whoever put me onto drift books, because if you're just patient enough, you'll find like new books for like super cheap, and then you're able to just use your rewards to buy other cheap books or get a free cheap book. But yeah, physical media really is so much better. Notebook fetishism. I don't know. I mean, other than this, I haven't had the use of a notebook for quite some time. Yeah, sketching notes, ideas, etc. Yeah, that's funny. You know what I do have? I never used it. Before I found out what Verso Books is really about, I was like, all right, cool. Like I want to support. And so I joined like their reading like book club thing. I was like, yeah, whatever. Like this seems to be like a cool endeavor. And so they sent me this for free. There's a little Verso thing on there and everything. Critique of everyday life. I think I have like 2 pages written down. What did I write down? Can I share this? That's funny. I wrote, saw some notebooks, thought about buying them, broke and have enough somewhere. Old school material. This arrived today. Oh shit. Damn it. God damn it. Well, I can't say that. So when I wrote this, God, I don't really share too much. Wow. God damn, I don't share a lot. I try not to. A lot of you were here when I was reading that piece by Omar, and I mentioned that a relative of mine had taken their life. It's kind of crazy until you look at stuff like this. This is referencing another relative that did the same. God damn it, bro. Fuck. This one was closer in age. He was like a year or 2 older than me. And he helped toughen me up when I was younger. Man, one of the most beautiful smiles. One of the most beautiful smiles. And somebody who made me laugh so fucking hard, man. You know those razor commercials? I'm gonna cry on stream. Anyways, he was such an idiot in the best way. Like, he came from Mexico when he was like a little preteen, so he was a little rough, and he caught up to English quick. And what's those razor blade commercials where it's like, not the maybe it's Maybelline, but it's like, I'm your diva. I don't know, but he did a parody song of that, like in the spot. And it killed me. Like it was the first time I realized somebody could do a parody like in the moment. And I was like crying, laughing as a little kid. And I would ask him, I'm like, do it again, sing the song again. And he would laugh like, what? Okay, yeah. And then he would do it and I would just start cracking up again. And it was obviously like a raunchy parody version of it. Venus, yeah, this is the Venus. That makes sense. Man. Funny, man. Funny. He struggled a lot. And the last time I saw him, I was walking my old dog on the trail, and this would just passes by me on the skateboard. Then he stops and he turns and goes, Carlos? And he would always change his hairstyles. So I'm like, I'm over here blind. And mind you, I'm running, so I don't have my glasses on. And I realized who it was. Like, we hugged, laughed, and this was always callejero. Callejero, man. Like, pata de perro. Always going somewhere. I mean, if we're talking about ADHD, this motherfucker was the Energizer Bunny. Couldn't go to his funeral because of family drama. All right, yo. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, like and subscribe. We're not like these fucking white people, man. We're not like these rich kids. I'm not here to be like them. I do my best not to share too much, not to give too much details. I'm not into the parasocial shit. Love the people that you love. Let them know. I make all my homies, like my homies that I really care for, every time. And it took some breaking. It took a little, you know. After I hang up, hey, I love you. Oh, I love you too, bro. Whatever. It's the click, right? There's one time one of my closest like friends, he's like a brother to me. Um, I hit him up, whatever. Yeah, we're gonna do this. All right, cool, cool. All right, I love you, bye. And then he clicks on me before he says, so I call him right back, and he's laughing. I'm like, the fuck's so funny? And he's like, the girl he was dating at the time, he was like, I told her, I was like, watch, I'm gonna hang up, and he's gonna call me right back until I say I love you. You never know when it's the last time that you're gonna speak to somebody. You never know when it's gonna be the last time that you see somebody, that you speak to them, that you hear their voice. You just never know. And so the closer they are to you, remind them that you love them, that you care for them, so that they never doubt that for a second in their life, so that when they think of you, when you've passed away, they can think of the love and care that you have for them. When they're taking their final breaths and their final moments in life, they know without a doubt in their minds that you love them, that you care for them. It matters. It fucking matters. Believe it or not, it's corny, it's cheesy. It matters. You can never say I love you enough. Yeah. All right. Remember what Glenn Ford said, organize with eyes wide open. John Trudell now. The beast. In a wisp of smoke down on the corner, there was this cat named Fortunate Lee, talking at me from voices in his head, yelling about what storytellers said. You gotta be careful here, child. There's a beast in the promised land. There's madness you don't understand. The beast is crazed and running wild. Little boy man, little girl woman. No big deal. Nothing personal. Your mind's another meal. Savoring the rush of you like heady wine. Feeding is what the beast is meant to do. Stranger are those walls built to hide. Stranger to look and learn not to see. He's in the mask you put on your face. Thoughts, his favorite breeding place. In the race to midnight, it's after 11. The nature of the beast is all he knows. Behind doors of hell are gates of heaven. Doors are open, but the gates are closed. Yes, Duel.